Hey everyone, it's the final live update of eFootball 24. We have a little bit of news about the update, not a great deal, but two little things. Firstly, they've dropped this graphic on Twitter, so it looks like that's what they're going to be doing around the colour scheme and the graphics and stuff. So yeah, draw your own opinions on that. And also, we've been speculating about the release date and maintenance. So what they've told us in terms of large-scale maintenance this year, it's basically going to be the day before the release date. So they're releasing the update next Thursday, the 12th September. And large-scale maintenance this year is going to start the morning of the Wednesday up to the release date Thursday morning. So it looks like that's going to be it. So when the update drops on the Thursday, we're good to go. No doubt the maintenance will be extended like it always is by some amount of time. But essentially, yeah, like I say, it looks like the update drops Thursday morning, then we're good to go. So that's positive, I think. The fact there's no other news about the update, not so positive. That suggests there's not a great deal to look forward to. Although, I guess at least there'll be some new packs. Yay! Speaking of packs, we have a coin sale. So, for the next 4 weeks, you can get a discount on a bunch of quantities of coin if you like that sort of thing. So there you go, 200, 890, 3,500. So those three quantities, you can get a discount for the next 4 weeks. And speaking of coins, the PS Plus member bonus has renewed. So if you didn't notice this, and if you've got PS Plus on PlayStation, you can get yourself 300 coins and a bunch of trainers. So don't forget to do that if you're on PS Plus. And one more little bit of news for today. And this is the most shocking news of all. They've put something in the point store. A player. I don't know why they didn't put at least one player in last month before we all lost tens of thousands of points, but at least we've got something now. We've got Levy Colwell, so yeah, there you go. Happy days. But now player of the week. So we have our final player of the week selection up at eFootball 24. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for every player, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click in the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. They've generously given us 2 4-stars this week. We'll start with those. So, Maitland-Niles first from Lyon. We've had a previous player of the week version of Maitland-Niles. It was slightly better than this one, but pretty similar to be honest. Compared to his GP card, we got a bit less pace and kicking power for some reason, but everything else has had a bit of a boost. It's not a massive boost. It's not a particularly exciting card. I think, to be honest, compared to his GP card, skills are the most important thing. I've given him first-time shot, but more importantly, man marking, interception. He's already got trap back as well. As an attacking fullback, it'd be nice if we had pinpoint crossing, but we've got a few skill moves there, and like I say, man marking, interception, 2 very important ones to have. So it is an upgrade on his GP card. One downside is that he's got all these positions you can play, but you can't retrain these cards, so you can't make him a specialist midfielder or anything. He's trained very much as a fullback, and as a fullback he's all right. As I mentioned, he is a 4-star card. Got his face cam from his Arsenal days. Is he any good? Pace, yeah. Stamina, borderline. Physical and balance, borderline. Defensives a little bit on the low side. Down the left here, all these are pretty much just about okay. That's around about where I'd want him to be, but he doesn't really excel in any area, so he's usable. I think the fact he can play right or left as a fullback, he might be one worth keeping hold of. It's not like we get a French League challenge though. Maybe that'll change at some point. It'd be nice if it did for a bit of variety, but as it is, we've never had a French League challenge, so I think maybe, I guess unless you use an England squad and a national team challenge, could be used one for that because he's versatile. But would I use him outside of the fullback positions? I don't think he's technically good enough to play as a midfielder in any of those midfield positions. Certainly defensive midfield, he's not strong enough defensively. So yeah, a fullback that could be useful if you're lacking options in those areas, but beyond that, to be honest, I'm not sure it's a particularly great card really. And our other 4-star, we've got Geny Catamo. Probably said that wrong. So he's normally a box-to-box. His GP card's box-to-box. He's a creative playmaker on this card. He doesn't have a face scan yet. He may well get one at some point. We've had a previous player of the week version of this guy. This one's a bit better on the ball, but that previous one had a bit more pace and he was better at defending. He's also more two-footed than this one, and that one was down as an attacking fullback, I think, as well. So that was very much more of a fullback build. This time we've got more of an attacking player. In terms of skills, they've added double touch, long range shooting, and through passing. He's already got one touch passing, long range curler, so he's got some good skills in terms of end product on the wings. Not a lot of skill moves for the dribblers, but certainly in terms of end product, some good skills there, but he needs them to compensate, certainly with the passing, because his low and lofted pass aren't great. Finishing's alright for a wide man, 79. That'll go past 80 with your game plan boost. He's tidy enough on the ball. Compared to his GP card, his speed's slightly down. The rest has been boosted slightly. The finishing and awareness are the two ways out a significant boost. As I mentioned, the finishing is going past 80 with the game plan boost. The awareness likewise, so that's good. On the ball, he's fairly tidy. Good pace, kicking power's decent. Balance would like it a bit higher, but it's at least over 80. Yeah, it's probably similar to Maitland-Niles, to be honest. He's versatile, he can play either flank. He's not overly two-footed though. Just depends on what kind of wing you like, but without pinpoint crossing as a left footer, I don't think I'd put him on the left-hand side. I think you're looking at this guy very much as a right winger, playing as an inverted winger, cutting onto his left foot. He's got a bit of end product with his finishing. Yes, with his passing, he's got one-touch passing and through passing, but his passing attributes are poor, so I wouldn't ask too much with his passing, but certainly cutting inside into his left foot and scoring goals for you could be a decent one. It could be a useful one, but he's certainly not a top-level card by any means. And again, like with Maitland-Niles, we've never had a Portuguese league challenge, so how useful is this guy going to be for you? If you're a Sporting fan, good card to pick up for sure, but outside of that, I think for most of us, we've probably got better options in those kind of wide areas. But if you've not got many options in those wide areas, like I say, it's not a bad card by any means. For a 4-star, it's pretty decent, and it could be useful. It's just not a brilliant card on the whole. Now we have another Player of the Week, Correa from Atletico Madrid. So we have had two previous Player of the Week versions of this guy. One was a goal poacher like this one. He's normally a roaming flank. They've changed him to a goal poacher. We've got a previous goal poacher version in Player of the Week, as I mentioned. Very similar to this one on the whole. The other previous Player of the Week was a whole player right midfielder. Again, not too far from this one, but I would say slightly better though, that whole player. There's been one or two trainable ones a bit better than this as well, both in terms of how good the overall is, but also the fact you can train them, of course. That's always an advantage over these cars. The GP card, as I mentioned, is a roaming flank, is a right winger. If you're going to train the GP card as a striker, you cannot make it as good as this one. So if you want a striker version of Correa, and if you don't have a previous Player of the Week one, this will be a good card for you. In terms of his skills, they have taken away Sombrero and given him fighting spirit, so not a massive change to be honest, but he does have a good selection of skills though. If you're going to play him as a goal poacher, he's got first time shot most importantly. Heel trick's a nice one, through passing very nice one, outside curls a nice one. He's a super sub, got a bunch of nice skills there, as well as the most important one, long range curler as well. So yeah, as a centre forward, he's neat. You know, he's small, he's got the low centre of gravity, he's very tidy on the ball for a striker, decent balance. Awareness at 84 is probably the one attribute that's a bit on the low side. That's a bit of a shame. On a 5-star striker, I like that attacking awareness to reach 90 with the game plan boost. It's a few below that. So yeah, not terrible, but not great. Finishing is good though. That should hit 90 with the game plan boost with a good enough manager. Passing for a striker is good. Decent pace, decent kicking power, decent balance. Yeah, I actually had both of the previous Player of the Week versions. I think I released the goal poacher because the whole player's a bit better, but they're both pretty neat. So yeah, if you like a striker who's nimble, he's got a decent amount of pace about him, he's quite maneuverable, tidy on the ball, you might like this guy. You might really like him. He's not top level, like I say. I'd like the awareness to be a bit higher, and on a real top goal poacher centre forward, I'd like a little bit more pace. But honestly, with the attributes he does have, with the skills he's got, he's a neat little striker. And if you've not already got a good version of this guy, I would suggest giving him a try if you pick him up, because you might really like him. He's a tidy little card, this guy, and especially as a super sub. And before I forget to say it, very neat as an SS. Behind the attack, very neat, great awareness in that position, tidy on the ball. Not brilliant passing, so don't ask too much with his passing, but finishing is great, obviously. Could be a very neat SS centrally, but if you played him wide left as a forward and set him to an SS, with the fact he's got decent pace, good on the ball, he's going to have a very nice finish on him, especially with that long range curler skill. Could be a useful option SS wide left as well. So yeah, pretty tidy card, this guy. Now we have Anguissa from Napoli. He scored a late header to win it. It was a pretty dramatic game. They were playing against Parma. Parma had used all the substitutes, and their goalkeeper got sent off for a second yellow, so they had to put an outfield player in goal. Napoli 1-0 down at the time. They ended up scoring 2 late goals to win it. Napoli, Anguissa got the header, the winning goal. So a pretty dramatic finale that was. As you would expect on that basis, they have, of course, given him heading and aerial superiority at the expense of Scotch move. I think we can live without that. So we've lost Scotch move, but we've got heading and aerial superiority. So in the middle of the park, he should be pretty decent at winning headers. And they're giving him a nice boost on his jumping, his physical. Heading's going to hit 80 with the game plan boost, so he's going to be very strong in the air for a centre mid. Outside of that, not a huge boost really across the board. Not much else has had a significant boost really. Obviously it's better than his GP card, but it's mainly the aerials that really have been improved from the GP card. But it's a tidy card. We've had a bunch of previous versions of Anguissa. We've had a previous player of the week that was a destroyer. This is a box to box, which is his normal playing style. The destroyer one was pretty similar to this apart from the playing style. In terms of the best versions we've had a 94 and a 95 in the past. So obviously slightly better than this, although this does have a booster, and the booster gives us aggression, acceleration. That's nice. More physical contact, so that's getting to the 90 mark with the game plan boost. That's fantastic. And stamina. So again, that's going past 90 with the game plan boost. So okay, what's that booster called? Hard worker. So he's going to work even harder when he gets A form. Excellent. But yeah, I've got an old version of Anguissa that was a destroyer, and I really like it. I like it playing in a double pivot. He's a good all-rounder. He's physically strong. He can defend. And this is a pretty solid version of him as a box-to-box. He can do a bit of everything. Looking back at the skills again, they've made him great in the air, obviously. One-touch passing, weighted pass. The one skill he misses really is through passing in the middle of the park. I'd really like if they had through passing. Obviously, you cannot train these cards, so you can't put skills on them, unfortunately. And defensively, trap back, interception, and sliding tackle, as well as the aerial ability. So, yeah, he's kind of got a bit of everything, this guy, in terms of the skills and the attributes. A few skill moves there for as well. But yeah, he's just not quite the finished article. I would like through passing going forward. I would like man marking, maybe his blocker defensively. And with the attributes, is he good enough? Yeah, he's kind of good enough, but I'd like a little bit more with the passing. Maybe he's a little more defensively if you wanted to use him as a DMF. I'd like a little bit more balance, but he's a big physical guy, so yeah, he's not a top level card, but especially with the A form boost, he's a tidy one. He's a useful one in the middle of the park. He can do a bit of everything. So if you've not got a version of this guy, if you've not really tried him before, if you get him, definitely worth giving him a try. He's a useful one, especially with the Italian League Challenge as a defensive mid or centre mid. He can do a bit of everything. He's a big physical presence, especially giving him a nice boost on his aerial and physical attributes, and with the skills to make him better in the air. So yeah, could be a very useful card, this one. I think it's not an amazing one, but a pretty strong, pretty useful one. And now we have the card that I want as a Newcastle fan. Nick Pope. I did say when I did my predictions on Monday, I felt like Muslera deserved to be player of the week goalie. But I had a feeling if they didn't watch the Newcastle match, they might look at the stats and assume that Nick Pope was great. And that looks like that's what they did, because he was good for us, but he was a little bit iffy at times. I didn't think he deserved to be in necessarily, but I had a feeling he would make it in, and he has done. And he's a pretty good card. So old face scan point needs updating, but yeah, we've got a guy who's massive, 190 centimeters. Sorry, he's what, 6'5", 6'6" or something. He's a giant. Awareness already at the 90 mark. Reach 88, so he's a good enough manager. You're going past 90 for his reach on a big tall goalkeeper. His coverage of his goals will be great, and his reflexes are going past 90 as well. Catching, better than I thought it would be. Mid-80s, that's decent enough. The pairing's the only dodgy one really, but that's at least going past 80 with the game plan boost. And when you consider the rest of the attributes, his core goalie attributes, this is a good goalkeeper card. The only thing he's not good at, shockingly, is jumping. Who would have thought? So according to Konami, pretty much the best goalie in the world the past week, but he's worse at jumping than he normally is. I think I might have had that rant before, but yeah, all things considered, unwavering form, and in fact they've made him an attacking goalie. I think he's normally a defensive goalie. Ooh, and they've given him a low punt as well. Oof, it's going to make me cry even harder when I don't get him. Yeah, so you got low punt as well as high punt, attacking keeper. I think he's going to be a really good shot stopper. I think this is a good goalie card. Yes, he can't jump to save his life, but he's about 11 feet tall. Powering's not great, but everything else is. So yeah, ultimately you got a big goalkeeper, unwavering form. I think it's a good goalie card. Even if you're not a Newcastle fan like me, I think anyone who gets this, you've got a very good goalkeeper option. So yeah, I think he's a good goalie this week. I'm surprised he's only 93 rated, to be honest. And now we have a very interesting card. So this for me is one of the picks of the pack. We've got Raphinha. They've added left midfield. They made him a whole player. That playing style will be active at left midfield. It will not be active as a forward, wide left or right, but he can still certainly play there. I don't personally have a problem with him, with a player playing without an active playing style in any position. I think that'll be fine. But in terms of what they've done to this guy, the key difference to this guy from his GP card and to previous ones, because we've had a lot of versions of Raphinha. We've had some versions of Raphinha that go slightly higher than this one as well. But they've given him some end product. He's normally pretty terrible with his passing, and his finishing's not normally great either, but they boosted him there. That's the significant boost they've given him from his GP card. The awareness as well has gone up a bit, but his low pass, lofty pass, and finishing all gone up. That's very interesting. In terms of his skills, they have taken away, is it Scotch move? I think Scotch move and penalty specialist, and they've added first time shot and pinpoint crossing. He's already got heel trick, outside curler, got a bunch of skill moves, of course. The dribblers will love that, but he's got a bit of end product as well, especially with the finishing. With his finishing up to 84, first time shot as well. Shame he's not got long range curlers, because coming off that right flank, he could have had a really nice finish on him, but even without it, good finishing now. Tight on the ball still. As is often the case, what they've done, they juggle things around. So he's had a bit of a boost to his physicals, his aerial and physical ability, but the other athletic ones down the right hand side have been juggled around a little bit. A bit strange, but nothing major going on there. Awareness, nice boost as I mentioned, and the end product as well. On the ball though, they've taken 5 away from his ball control. Dribbling's down by 2, but his tight possession's up by 3. So up and down there, the ball control especially though, going down by 5. I don't know why they've done that, but as I mentioned, we do have a booster, and when you hit the booster, when he gets A form, the ball control goes back up again, so almost as high as his GP card. Yeah, I mean, with the booster though, you see the attacking awareness there at 88. You're getting 90 attacking awareness on this guy with A form, and with the game plan boost. Finishing is getting towards the 90 mark. I don't think it'll quite hit 90, but still, it's great finishing for a wide man. Acceleration goes back up a bit. So yeah, got the pace. He's going to be good on the ball. Great awareness and finishing on a wide man. He's got a bit more low and lofted pass he normally does. 80 lofted pass, and they've now got him pinpoint crossing. Can play him down that left wing. He can cross the ball now. He's not going to have a brilliant cross, but it's going to be a lot better than it normally is. So for me, yeah. Have we had higher rated versions of Raphinha in the past? Yes. But as a whole player, adding left midfield, and the fact they're giving him more end product than he normally does, this for me makes it a really fun looking version of Raphinha. In my opinion, it's one of the very best versions of Raphinha based on the way they balance the attributes out, even if he's not the highest rated one. So yeah, I'm very keen to get this guy. This for me is one of my picks of the whole pack this week. I think it's a really good looking card. And now we have Joey Veerman from PSV. So I mentioned he could get in this week. I didn't think he would necessarily make it, but he did have a good game. They have made him a box-to-box, normally an orchestrator. We've had one previous feature version of Veerman, and that was a nominate contract one. Only went to 92, but it was pretty similar to this one, and it's trainable as well. So if you got that one, you might prefer that one. This one, like with Raphinha, they've kind of juggled around some of these athletic attributes down the right. Some up a bit, some down a bit. Nothing major. Ball control's up a bit. Awareness is up a bit. Finishing is up a bit. Set pieces is up a bit. So it's a nice boost from his GP card. It's a good version of Veerman, this. Like I say, box to box though. So the playstyle is different. Skill wise, they've added first time shot. So he's got a good searching skills in terms of his own product, this guy. So long range shooting, first time shot, then one touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, outside curler, low lofted pass, and then defensively as well, interception and blocker. So this is an interesting looking centre mid. He can play defensive mid, centre mid, attacking mid. I would not play him defensive mid with those defensive attributes. Yes, he's got interception and blocker, but he's not strong defensively. So for me, he's a centre mid, or he could even be an attacking mid, to be honest. He's not the quickest or the most manoeuvrable. He's all about end product, this guy, as you can see with the passing. When you get your game plan boost, 90 plus for low and lofted pass. He's going to be fairly tidy on the ball, but without the pace, without the dribbling, he's clearly not going to be one you're going to want to kind of dribble around with too much, move around with too much on or off the ball. You just want to want to get him on the ball, pick a pass or a shot. Albeit the finishing is not brilliant, but he does have, as I mentioned, long range shooting, first time shot. So finishing should be alright, but mainly the passing. This guy's a playmaker. He's going to have great passing. You could put him in the attacking midfield position. You won't have an active playing style there. Using him as a playmaker could be very effective. As a centre midfielder, sure, he's not strong defensively, but he does have interception and blocker. He can do a job there as long as you've got at least one other midfielder behind him doing the defensive work, getting him on the ball, using him, I guess, pretty much as an orchestrator. Just he's going to be a bit more mobile than he normally would without having that playing style, but based on the attributes and what he's good at, that's pretty much what he's going to be. He's going to be a deep line playmaker, unraven form as well, and if you check on eFootball Hub, you see this guy gets a lot of A and B form, so this could be a useful card to pick up. I don't think he's a top level card by any means. I'm not going to be too keen to get him, but I'll probably keep him if I do, because like I say, he's a useful one as a playmaker with that great passing. he could be a decent one to have. But again, as I said with the first couple of cards, PS3, did we ever get an Eredivisie challenge? No, we don't. So when are you going to use him? You got a Dutch squad for the national team challenge. Maybe you could use him for that. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not sure many people would really get too much use from this guy. But that's not to say he's a bad card. Unwavering form, really good playmaker, great passing, could be useful one for a lot of people. So yeah, not a bad card. Just not sure how much use people would get out of him, but he does have some real qualities, especially with that passing. So he's decent, this guy. And here's a guy I did predict for this week, Coco. So scored the winning goal for Torino, had a good game on the whole. He will be needing a phase scan at some point, Konami. He's made a great start at Torino. So he's normally a build-up. I've not changed anything there, really. It's the first feature version we've had of Coco. He's had a slight boost across the board. The only real significant change from his GP card is they've given a really big boost on his stamina. And that is important. So nice boost on his stamina there. Apart from that, it's just a good version of him. And on the whole, yeah, he's decent. I mean, the low pass is getting to 70 with the game plan boost. Lofted already over 70, so the passing for a centre-back is pretty much where you want it. That's nice enough. The defensive, though, the most important ones. Awareness 86, alright, decent. Tackling 87, yeah, I think I should hit 90 with the game plan boost, so that's good. Aggression, not too high. Some people like that, some people not too bothered. Engagement, a little bit on the low side at 83. On the whole, it's kind of alright defensively. Decent enough, not brilliant, but he's not too bad. Pretty decent pace for a centre-back. Kicking power is pretty good for a centre-back. Jumping, physical, heading, all in the 80s. If we look at the skills, they've added heading, already got aerial superiority, so he should be decent in the air. He's about 6'2", so yeah, he should be pretty strong in the air. They've added man marking as well. He's already got interception, sliding tackle. They've added that, and he's already got acrobatic clearance. Just really missing blocker, I think. So yeah, you're missing blocker, not quite at the mark I would want a 5-star centre-back to be. So on the whole, he's not a brilliant one, but he's not a too bad one either. I think if you get this guy, could be one where you look at him and consider him just as an option for the Italian League Challenge. So if you don't have too many centre-backs for the Italian League Challenge, when that pops up, could be well worth having if he does get form in any given week. So could be a useful one, but yeah, again, like a few of the other cards in this pack, he's not a top level card. He's by no means an elite level card. For a lot of people who've got a lot of legends and Showtime cards and so on, he's probably not going to get near your team at any point, really. But yeah, if you don't have that many centre-back options, especially for the Italian League Challenge, he's by no means a bad card. He could be a useful one to pick up. Now we have Matheus Nunes from Man City. So we have a left midfield creative playmaker version of Nunes. So he's normally a box-to-box. He does normally have left midfield. Creative playmaker now, though. Compared to his GP card, they're giving a nice boost on his acceleration. Bit of a boost on some of these down here as well. And his stamina. In fact, his stamina's down, sorry. His stamina's down by 5 from his GP card. Not sure why. Defense is pretty similar. On the ball, pretty similar on the whole. Lofted pass is down a bit. Low pass up a bit. Bit of a boost on his finishing. Yeah, not a massive difference from his GP card, really. In terms of his skills, they've added... Is it through passing? Yeah, they've added through passing and interception and super sub. So, interesting selection of skills there. He's got a good selection for a centre mid, certainly. One touch pass, through passing, interception, fighting spirit. Stamina down a bit, though. Soul control's nice. Yeah, he's an interesting one, this card. He doesn't look amazing, but he looks like a useful option. You could use him on the left. He's not bad on the ball, but he's not brilliant, though. He does have pretty good pace. I'm not sure I'd use him left midfield. I think really you're looking at this guy as a centre mid attacking mid. As a centre midfield, he won't have an active playing style. Creative playmaker out of his positions will only be active left midfield and attacking mid. He's got interception, so you could get rid of him as a centre mid, but he might get tired a bit quick. He might be one who's best as an attacking midfield and just take the defensive attributes and interception as bonuses and use him as an attacking mid and make use of his passing. 88 low pass, one touch pass, through passing. Yeah, I think for me personally, he's probably going to be best as an attacking midfield playmaker. And he could be a pretty tidy card there. He's not an amazing one. I'd like a bit more finishing. Maybe he's a bit more awareness. Maybe a bit better on the ball. A bit more balance, certainly. But yeah, as a creative playmaker with a bit of defensive ability, he could be a useful one. You could get rid of him in left midfield. I don't know if he's quite got the dribbling. Centre midfield, like I said, the stamina is probably the main thing, but you could certainly have him do a job there, albeit without an active playing style. Attack midfield, he's a pretty tidy one. He's got good passing. Just, yeah, I'd like some of the attributes to be a bit higher. So again, like a bunch of these cards, not a top level card by any means. He's not an elite level one. We've had how many versions of this guy we've had? I think we had one previous version of this guy, maybe two. We had a Champions League Player of the Week one actually. That was a creative playmaker. That was pretty similar to this one. We had one trainable one. I'm not sure what pack that was in. Might have been some kind of English League pack, but that was a box to box, slightly better than this one. So yeah, not the best version of Diaz, and I don't think it's a top level card, but it could be a useful one to have. Maybe for the English League Challenge, could be a useful one to have. You know, through the middle, centre mid, attack mid, or left midfield. Yeah, that's probably the main use for this guy. If you get this guy, consider him as an option for the English League Challenge. So yeah, not a bad card at all, just not an amazing one. Again, I think I've said that about a few cards in this pack. And now we have Marcus Thuram. So he had a really good game. Inter smashed Atalanta, and Thuram was a star man. So the key thing, well, two key things to notice with this guy in terms of what they've changed about him. He's normally a dummy runner. They've made him a goal poacher. And the other thing to notice about this guy, they've added first time shot. So for those two reasons, big upgrade, because he doesn't normally have first time shot, which is a really important skill for a centre forward. And dummy runner is not a playstyle that everyone likes as well. So as a goal poacher as well, that could be two reasons there why it's a big upgrade for you. Through passing is a nice one to have for a striker. He's got heading and acrobatic finishing, long range cutter, long range shooting, soul control is nice, a few skill moves. He's got a pretty good selection of skills for a striker. But the bad news with this guy, attacking awareness of only 84, finishing 82. That's poor. I mean, on a Player of the Week striker, playing for Inter against a good team, scored twice, I think. He got at least one assist as well. To have such a good game as a striker with 2 goals, why are you giving him 82 for finishing? What are you doing, Konami? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's really frustrating. I mean, if I get him, it's not such an issue for me because I use manual shooting. But if you don't use manual shooting, 82 finishing on a 5-star striker in Player of the Week, that to me, it just sucks. I think he deserved at least a few higher on that. So that's annoying to me, but pace is slightly down from his GP card, but apart from that, everything's just had a kind of a slight boost from his GP card, really. It's just a decent version of Thuram, just like I say, making him a goal poacher and giving him first time shot. Those two changes are the two changes that really make him a good version of him compared to his GP card. But like I say, they're finishing 82 and you can't train these cards, so that's real frustrating for me. We've had a couple of trainable versions of Thuram that go to 96. So if you've got either of those, yes, they're dummy runners, and yes, you'll need to put first time shot on them, but they might be significantly better versions of them to have. But it's a good version of Thuram. Goal poacher, first time shot, big pluses, but it's just that finishing I think should be a lot higher. So it is a decent version of Thuram. I think it's very usable. I'll be pleased if I get it because I like the guy in the game. His balance is a bit dodgy, so is tight possession, but you can work around that. I've done so in the past, and I've got some joy out of him. I've found him a very neat option up front. And as a goal poacher version, I'll be very keen to get this guy, but if you don't use manual shooting like me, that 82 finishing is a bit of a letdown. So an interesting version of Thuram, just, yeah, it could have been better, unfortunately. And finally, we have Luis Diaz. Had a great game for Liverpool away to Man U. It's a boost to Luis Diaz as well. So, playing style, prolific winger, positions, same as his GP card. Nothing's changed there. It's one of the better versions of Luis Diaz. We had a few similar Player of the Week versions in the past. Nothing looks majorly different. A few attributes slightly higher, slightly lower. Compared to his GP card, a little bit worse on the ball. But, yeah. Well, let's see what the booster does. Okay, so he's a bit worse on the ball than his GP card, but if he's on A form, the booster at least gets his ball control almost as good as his GP card. Yay! Finishing's had a nice boost. The physicals as well have had a nice boost. Otherwise, just a slight boost really across the board. What have they done with his skills? They've given him heading, of course. Given him long range curler, nice. And first time shot. Okay, interesting. They've taken away, what they're taking away, sombrero, no-look pass, gamesmanship. I think that's a good trade. So, heading, long-range curler, and first-time shot, nice ones to have. You've got a bunch of skill moves for the dribblers. And then when it comes to taking chances, heading, long-range curler, acrobatic finishing, first-time shot, outside curler is a nice one to have. Pinpoint crossing, I mean, with 67 lofted pass, you can forget about crossing. You're going to use this guy on the left and cut inside, and you're going to look to take chances with him because when it comes to passing or crossing, computer says no, he cannot pass or cross. So yeah, dribble, shoot, you do that, this guy's gonna be effective. He's quick, he's good on the ball, got good awareness, got great finishing. Nice to get his physical up to 70 for a winger. That's decent. Balance could be a bit higher. I think they've maybe done him a little bit dirty with that, but yeah, he's not much better than most versions of Luis Diaz we've had, to be honest. He's just kind of, he's up there with a whole bunch of previous ones, which are around the same kind of a level, all pretty similar, to be honest. So if you've not got a good version of Diaz and you want one, this is a good one. I think the scores they've added are good, and on the whole, yeah, especially with that A-form boost. Obviously, as I mentioned, they made him a little bit worse on the ball, but he's still good on the ball. Quick, good dribbler. He can score goals. Just that passing is a shame, really, but it often is with all versions of Luis Diaz. So, yeah, if you don't have a good version of Diaz and you want one, it's a good card. It's one of the better cards in this pack. So, and of course, he's got his face going. I keep forgetting that, but yeah, nothing particularly different about this guy, but some good skills added, and it's a good version of him. So it's a good card, this one. So there we go, the final player of the week section of eFootball 24. I did predict that it might not be a brilliant one, that maybe it'll be a bit of a lull before the update. I would have been surprised if they'd done an amazing selection, because, you know, that kind of increases the chances that whatever they do with the update, it will be disappointing. But I think there's still some good ones in there. I think the 2 4-stars, to be honest, aren't bad for 4 stars. You've got a couple of useful ones that could be worth keeping hold of. Certainly if you're new to the game, they're not bad cards at all to pick up. Correa, I've had a couple of previous ones that are similar. Neat little card, well worth having. Anguissa likewise, not amazing, could do with through passing, maybe he's 1 or 2 more defensive skills. If he had those extra skills, I think it'd be a fantastic card, but he's still a good one. He's solid, physically strong centre mid. He can be very effective. Nick Pope's the one I want as the Newcastle fan. I think he's going to be a pretty good goalkeeper, that one. It looks like a good card. Raphinha, I think if I put my Newcastle allegiance aside, that for me is probably the one card I want from this pack. It looks like a really fun version of Raphinha, and they've given us some end product for once. So yeah, for me, that's one of the best versions of Raphinha they've been. Veerman, it's all about the passing. Great pass with the ball. He's got some ability elsewhere. It's really just about the passing. It's not an amazing card, but it could be useful to pick up. Coco, again, could be useful. It just comes down to what options you got. I think that's one where if you get him, he's worth keeping a hold of, just in case the Italian League challenge pops up and he needs a centre-back with form. If he does have form, it could be useful for that. Matheus Nunes, again, useful. Not an amazing card, though. Left mid, centre mid, attacking mid could do a job for you, but I don't think he's going to get into many people's teams if you've been playing the game a while, because he's just not quite on that level, really. Thuram, interesting version. Goal poacher, first-time shot. 2 big pluses there, but the big minus, 82 finishing on a player of the week version. That sucks. Should have been higher, in my opinion. It really should have been higher, but still could be an interesting version of him to pick up. And then Diaz, just another Luis Diaz, really, but it is a good one. So yeah, there's a few good cards in there, and there's a bunch in there that could be useful, but just aren't that exciting, really. So it's not the worst selection we've had, but not the best. Certainly 1 or 2 I think that could be worth picking up if you get lucky with your free spin, though. Speaking of which, I'm going to do mine. I'm going to spin Nick Pope. Come on, Nick. Join the squad. Wish me luck. Oh well, at least it's a 10-day contract renewal. So there we go. The final player of the week of eFootball 24. 1 week to the update. Are you hyped? What are you expecting? Let me know. Let me know what you think about this player of the week pack. Let me know who you spun. I may well do a stream or 2 between now and the update. Do some PES 18 Master League, I think. But you can be sure on Thursday when the update drops, there will be some videos. Player faces, player of the week, new packs, whatever else is new. So if I don't see you before then, I'll see you on Thursday. Hopefully you found this useful. Thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.